G'day everyone, it's SteveTolen here again in the beautiful boxing gym and back for another episode of Change the Game. So here we are, and I'm delighted to be joined today by a guest who I got to know over the last kind of 30 days, and she's travelled all the way from New Zealand and met yesterday. And I talk a lot about, recruitment being a people business. It's about human connection, it's about trust in a world where technology offers so much. And I was absolutely delighted to meet with this wonderful lady yesterday, and we caught up for lunch, and I wanted to tell the story. So, Anabella Bianchi, thank you very much for joining us here today.
Thank you for having me. It's awesome to be here in this amazing boxing studio. Thank you for the invite.
Thank you very much. You've made it, so thank you very much for joining us. So, without further ado, we're going to get straight into it, and I really appreciate you taking the time. It's been fantastic to get to know you. You're a character, you're full of life, you're full of energy, definitely got that Latino kind of fire in your belly, which is pretty, you can see for anyone that kind of meets with you. And it was fantastic to engage with you. I like your style, I like your spirit. Your football team at the moment, I'm going to stay away from the football and politics at the moment, just for another kind of couple of weeks. But I would love for you to really start off, tell us a little bit about yourself, your journey, etc. So please tell us a bit about yourself.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me.
No worries.
Being able to come here to Australia and try to make this work has been like an absolutely privilege. So thank you. I am Anabella, for the ones that don't know me. I am from Argentina, and I left my home in my early 20s. I first went to the States, where I wanted to learn English, and I wanted that freedom and independence. And I did one of the most interesting jobs you will have ever experienced, I will say.
Yeah.
And then 2 years later, I got a working holiday visa for New Zealand.
Yeah.
And this is when I decided to relocate to New Zealand, start my career, my family, and now 20 years later, I own my recruitment business.
Okay, fantastic. So to leave your, and again, I'm here originally from the UK, to leave your home country, I personally think, and again, there's nothing wrong with people who choose not to travel, but it shows a lot about you, your independence, your spirit, etc. So talk us through that journey. What made you want to kind of leave home, and also move into a country where it's not speaking in your kind of your native tongue. So what was the process, the journey behind that?
Yeah, for me, I was very young. I was through the process of uni, when you're like, I don't know what I want to study, I don't know what I want to do, and we come from very low medium class. Yeah. What that means is I've been working since the moment that you are allowed to, and I wanted to save enough money to start traveling. And English was always a thing for us. In Argentina, we always look up at the States. Oh my gosh, I want to go to the States. I want to go to Miami. And then what happened was, actually with my sister, we used to have this broom, and we will put like scarves around it, and we will play like Axl Rose, or Steven Tyler from Aerosmith.
Nothing wrong with that, yeah.
I'm pretty sure you know that. You know how old I am by now. And then I had the opportunity to get a seasonal visa to the States. And I guess for me it was like, I was always curious about freedom outside home country, like what it is, exploring and being eager to understand how the rest of the world operates. And I was always determined to go to a country that they speak English, because I'm a big believer that what doesn't kill you make you stronger. And I wanted to be, dropping the deep end and figure it out, So the States was the option, was the only option that I had at the time. Yeah. It didn't come by choice. It was just, it was the only way. Yeah. And the problem was, of course, no English whatsoever. So definitely limited chances of getting any opportunities with jobs. And this is where my journey started, not only from finding jobs, but from the basics of leaving the airport and getting a bus. Something so simple, because the communication barrier was such a big gap for me.
Yeah.
So that was, and I had to work in very difficult jobs, I will say, and from cleaning houses to cleaning celebrity mansions, working in casinos, working in restaurants on the top of a mountain with minus 50 degrees, it was a lot. But I guess for me, the mentality is having that curiosity constantly over and over again, and if you fail, it's fine, because you're trying. You just keep going. I think I was young, wild, and free. And that constant thinking, okay, what's next, and one thing at a time. And then what happened was, the people that you meet in the journey is the one that they either put you very down or they really help you to the next level, And again, it's that personality that shines through and through. Hey, you know what? I don't know how to do this. Teach me. And then they teach you. And then, okay, that takes you to another role or another contact. And then you just keep going. And we're talking about back in the day, right? No smartphones. No nothing, no Google Maps.
No Google Maps, yeah. No
Google Maps, the whole big thing. I was in a hostel, like if I wouldn't call my mom for a week, my mom thought I would have died. And that's okay. That's it. My daughter's gone.
Yeah.
So the whole trying to, exchange coins just to go to the chkun phone all the time. So it was very interesting times and I loved it. I think that you have to have the right mindset. It's not for everyone and that's okay. Mm-hmm. And that also shows when you talk to people when you live overseas. You have the type of people who have never left the country, and you can see that they will never understand you. Yeah. Then you have the type of people who have left the country, but they left to another English country. So they understand the struggles of adjusting to a new culture or getting jobs, or I need to get bank accounts and a new phone and where to live and what to do. For that, they get you. And then you have the last bucket, which is the ones that, even if you're English, you lived in Germany. Yeah. You literally left to move to another country where your native language is not the main one. Mm-hmm. For that, you see them on the street, and it is a look. Yeah. It's a connection. It's a level of sympathy and empathy. They're like, I know what you're going through. Yeah. So you see them all, and as you said, it's not right or wrong. I think everyone has a different type of goals, personalities, and different ways of seeing life, and that's absolutely okay. But you can tell as an immigrant, I guess.
What did you learn about yourself kind of going through that journey? Because you've left countries, you've obviously picked up the language, but what did you learn about yourself? Because you're obviously very resilient, you're someone that takes on challenges kind of head on. And coming out the other side of this when you push into adversity, right, it's quite a nice feeling, I guess. Yeah,
I learn a lot, but I think and I'm still learning. Yeah. So I'm in the transition of the journey. I'm not here to say I made it. I think it's a long journey. I guess for me it is okay to fail.
Yeah.
It is okay to navigate new avenues, and that for me the resilience is not about being able to push through in the hard times. For me, it's more about when you're actually at your lowest, just how you keep going. Yeah. And this is the moment that I felt I've been through a lot of moments in my life when you feel like I just can't do this. Yeah. This is not pretty. This is not like the Instagram photos of traveling overseas is glamorous. I'm really struggling financially, emotionally, everything, all in between. And you still keep going because you're in survival mode. So failing is not an option. It's just that simple.
Very much.
So this is what I learned, that you just keep going.
Yeah.
Just keep going.
And you mentioned, I know when we spoke, you're talking about the days before mobiles, right? You're doing jobs, you're working in hospitals and stuff. You can't call anyone. I still remember the pay phones and stuff like this, right? And it's interesting in today's world, because even today I've got 3 kids in the house, 2 are still in bed, what have you. But life, if I think even from life kind of 20 years ago, or even when we moved to Australia nearly 20 years ago, many of the same things, right? It's before the iPhone, it's before whatever. It was a different world. And I sound like such an old timer now. But there are many things, I think, if you look at the levels of living, particularly here in Australia, it's really comfortable. Everything is for you. And I don't know, but I think resilience, I see a lot of people, our resilience levels might be dropping. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
And I see this because they're so used to
they have access now.
Instant gratification, you get access. And I see that particularly if I look through a sales lens. Do you think that's a fair comment, or am I being too hard?
Yes, no, I think it's true. I think people think that because of technology, the jobs disappeared and this and that. I think it's the opposite. It's 10 times easier. Now, when I arrived in New Zealand, there was no Facebook community groups. Yeah. There was no, it was the paper you advertise, or I used to pick up jobs as a recruiter in 2005 from a fax. Yeah. There was, I'm talking about facts here, okay? And I'm not 80, okay? I just need to clarify that,
I remember the facts. Ran out of paper.
So then what happened was, I feel like nowadays everything is so instant. It's such a gratification of easy access that they take it for granted and they don't understand how hard it used to be. So we come with our adversities and you need to work hard and wake up early and do this. And they look at you, my kids look at me kind of like, Mom, chill, it's fine. And I feel like because they haven't been through what we've been through. But then at the same time, I'm a big believer that it's up to us as parents on how much we want to share and how much guidance do we give them. Like, I'm a big fan with my kids that, no, we're not going to give you everything for granted. And they know when mom is struggling. And they know very well that life is not pretty. And we did this thing with my ex-partner, James, with my oldest daughter. Since she was like maybe 4, we put the Rocky Balboa, the speech, it's not about how you get ahead, it's about get ahead and keep moving forward. And I was laughing at the time.
You saved that one for this podcast.
Yeah, 10 times. Yeah. And at the time I found it really funny, and that was it. Yeah. But because it kept going on and on and on for years, now she knows it by heart. Yeah. But then I started paying attention to the lyrics. Yeah. And not the lyrics, like the actual sentence, the words. And then when her and I would talk about it, and she had she fell in hockey or something, then we go back to that, and she tries to understand, like, this is life, you're not going to win all the time. You're not going to get A's all the time. It is okay. You're going to have a D friend, And now she started trying to, understand that. And I feel it's up to us on making sure that although they do have it very easy and they do have it for granted, we also have our call of duty to guide them and put them in the right direction.
Yeah, it's a great, we could talk about a whole different podcast on this. I got 3 kids. I'm Gen X, and I talked about this, I remember life obviously before the internet. And it's, as much as I think it offers so much opportunity, it is a different time, everything's visible, everything's on social media and stuff. So I do kind of empathise for the kids. It was interesting, again, boxing analogy last week, I was with Jeff Horn, who Bully Proof is now his mission, his company, and bullying in school, but it's cyberbullying and things like this. So again, this kind of world now is a very different kind of world. But I'd love to talk to us a bit about your kind of family life, because you're obviously a mother, you're a kind of a business owner, etc. So please explain, a little bit more about your 2 kids.
Yes, so I have 2 beautiful Latinas, half Latinas, half Kiwis, and their house is very loud. And as a business owner, I want to make sure that they understand that mommy struggles, and there are times that it's not okay, and it is okay not to be okay. Yeah. I don't want them to feel that they were gonna get everything all the time. And yes, there were moments we managed as a family of 4 to go all together to Disney World, but also I have been recently through moments when we were like, do I pay the phone, or do I pay the water, or do I pay the power? Yeah. And I'm very vocal about it, and I always wanted to make sure that they understand that no matter what, I'm the safe space. They can come to mom for absolutely anything. I'm not going to judge them. They can vent away. Whatever they did, it is fine. They do have a place, or space for them to be themselves. The challenge that I face is because I'm a business recruitment owner. Yeah. I need to manage and balance time, effort, ambitions, emotions, and that gets. It's a beautiful chaos, but it is still a chaos, and this is something that I'm still navigating. I used to be, before having kids, you have all the ambitions of the world, and I was very career-driven, and you have your time, and if you want to cook dinner, you cook dinner, and if you don't, it doesn't matter. Where when you become a mom, you have this kind of like, your time is not your time anymore. Everything has to be structured. And then you are very precious with your time. Who do you spend your time with? How you balance the time? So for me, it was a massive learning curve, because when in the boxing, it was like a punch in the face. And I'm like, it's not all about you anymore. It's not what you want. Yeah. Now you need to adjust. So yes, you still became very ambitious, but then you are emotionally ambitious. And then you have a level of urgency on how to balance things and how to prioritize that I didn't have to experience before. So that opened my head, my mindset of, okay, I don't think that I have to do one or the other. I'm a big believer that I can be a mom and I can also be a successful business owner. it is hard, and this is the thing. It is really hard, and you need a tribe, and you need to make sure your mental load is really heavy. But if this is what you really want to do, then absolutely go for it. And I know it's not for everyone, and I fully agree with it. And I think that it is a type of mindset. And
I love it, and obviously I can completely relate where you're coming from, being a parent and business owner, and it's not easy. And I think our kids are smarter than we think, and I'm the same. Like, I grew up a very working class family. It was very black and white, what you did, right and wrong, and I've always grew up with a hard work ethic. I drive them bonkers, right? Like, and I can handle kids failing or what have you, but as long as they give it the best, you know what I mean? And that's what I said. It's not to try at all. And that's what I see very much, and I think nice segue kind of into recruitment, because again, I see this now where, I talk a lot about mindset and mastery, which is if you don't feel that you're in the right place or you're not upbeat or whatever, then don't bother. But also if you're not going to kind of upskill. So how have you, because they're two very different roles, like being a mum and being a kind of business owner, how do you kind of balance the two, the priorities, like the responsibilities?
It's a journey. It's not easy, and I think I'm still figuring it out. And I think it goes in different phases. It's not the same of level of priorities that you need when you have a newborn, than when you have someone in primary, or when you have a fully teenager. So it is a balance. I guess for me, one of the things that I have to shift was I have to be present. So when I am with the kids, I have to be with the kids. And when I'm saying have to be with the kids means I sit down, I do crafting. I sit down and we do shows and videos together and put music on and we make pizza together and just be present. And then when I switch and I'm a business owner, I pick up the phone and I don't care how many cold calls I need to make, I have to make them because I need to feed the kids. So the ability to switch while still being in both, you still wear both hats, but one you activate them while the other one goes to sleep. And the other one activates and the other one goes to sleep, if it makes any sense.
That makes complete sense.
And it's really hard. And I think also, I work in so many different roles that give me skills that I never thought I was going to have. And that's why I would love my kids to work in anything that they want to until they figure it out what they want later. But working for them is definitely a must,
Yeah, like the reality of life, everyone's got bills to pay, right? Like, you know what I mean? And they say running a business is it's not for the faint-hearted, it's hard. And I want to stress this, it's not if you have a perm job, etc., there's nothing wrong with that, as happiness is the most important thing. I think you see this with people that run their business, there's something inside them, right, it's driving them, it's this fire, that they almost like living life on the edge. You have to take risks, there's no safety net. And it's hard, and there's dark days, there's many days, there's so many things on this entrepreneurial journey. Not just recruitment, where they said, I was listening to something yesterday, and they said, if you don't wake up several nights thinking, shit, what am I doing? Then you're not doing it right.
Yeah.
And if you get, like someone said, if you get a few weeks of there's no problems, something's going to blow up, right? And I'm like, yeah, I've been there,
100%.
Kind of lived that. So talk us through, you got into recruitment, and I know you've done both sides of the fence, you've done internal recruitments, etc. So bring us up to speed with how you basically ended up where you are today in terms of running your agency.
Yeah, I guess for me, having a recruitment agency, it wasn't something that I dream of. Okay. I never wanted to be a business owner. Yeah. It just happened to be in the right moment, at the right time, in the right place, with the right business. So we combined this, okay, let's just create this as a business. So it was just literally something that happened. And I guess for me in particular, I am very driven. And everyone who knows me, they know that I have no problem picking up the phone and talking. Yeah. And I can be the loudest person in the room. Doesn't mean that you're the smartest. But I have a lot of persistency, and I'm very persuasive, and I have a lot of negotiation skills. Yeah. And for some reason, working in-house, I felt that when I'm picking up the phone and talking to HR people, I can relate with them because I have done their job. And when I'm talking to clients, I know how to do the negotiation because I've been in agency and I know, how to do the cycle of sales. Little I know what it is to be a business owner. So I have the recruitment experience, I have the sales experience, I have the negotiation, I have the candidate, I had everything. but the whole setup and the mindset to run a business is a completely different ballgame that I had never experienced before.
Yeah.
And that was for me, this for me was like, okay, now I need to upskill myself, now I need to learn, and then one day you're the marketing, and the other day you're the cleaner, and the other day you're the salesperson, the other day you're the admin, and the other day you're just being the delivery person and delivering a cake to the client, you're the multi-purpose is what I call it from the cleaning products. And it's in a short period of time. You want to grow fast, or you want to fail and you want to fail fast. And for me, I had this hunger that I really wanted to achieve this. I really wanted to do this. And I don't know if it was lucky or people saw my drive. And the first year was the best year ever in all aspects. All the businesses support me. I make more money than we were expecting, so everything was great. And then we start thinking, okay, now we can stabilize and now we can understand the good, the bad, the ugly. What am I lacking? What do I need? When is the right time to hire the staff? When is the right time to think about processes and systems? How far will we go with AI? Where we don't want to implement AI? So it's been a journey, but I guess for me, as the accountability as a business owner was something that I was lacking because I just generally didn't know.
Yeah, again, I can empathize. There's definitely things I'm stronger at. I'm not going to take the CIO's job, is definitely safe for me. You wear multiple hats, and that's what I say. I can understand why many people choose not to go on that journey. It's got to be a calling, right? Everybody, or many people I should say, not everyone has dreams of, I want to do this, and I get to pick my own hours and this, that, and the other, and you go, yeah, fast forward 10 years maybe, you know what I mean? It's a journey, it's a struggle, right? It's a fight, and it's hard.
And it's not for everyone.
It's not for everyone, right? It teaches you things. So I think that whole journey that you've kind of been through, it doesn't surprise me how you've kind of built your resilience, your kind of toolkit, etc. When you look into the kind of the future, what's next? What's next for the business? Where do you see? What's the vision?
And I know what I don't want.
Okay.
But
great answer.
But I don't know how to reshape what I'm looking for, if it makes any sense.
Okay.
So I don't want to become this big, gigantic enterprise recruitment agency.
Yeah.
At all, because I've been there and I know how even change people's behaviors on the vision when you started a company and when it became that big, it changed everything, the values and stuff. So there are a lot of things I want to focus on. I do have a community at the moment in the cybersecurity space, and I want to make that bigger and better, which is more focusing on education.
Yeah.
I want the business to be seen as not only, what are recruitment agencies, but I want the business to make sure that we help people that they have never thought that even had an opportunity to be placed in a job. And that level of connection is because someone gave me an opportunity and believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. Yeah. And for me, that was key. So as a business owner, I'm a big fan of giving back in that aspect. Yeah. I want the business, we are known for mainly cybersecurity, but we've been growing and a lot in the IT in general space. Yeah. And we've been contacted to hire outside the IT space, especially in the business support side or on the sales side. Yeah. So we want to be boutique or small enough, but with big ambitions in the sense of the engagement with the clients. We want it to remain very solid and very strong. Mm-hmm. And where we're going, I think it's a matter of time. I think I still have a lot of things I need to polish on where we're at right now to be able to see the side effects of that and where the business is going to go. Definitely, Elevate is not going anywhere. Yeah. This is just the beginning. We've been up and running for 3 years, and I think that Elevate has touched a lot of hearts from the candidate side and from the client side as well.
Yeah, I love it. I can see the passion coming through. 3 years is a great achievement. Was it 50% or whatever the first year, I think it is? Mm-hmm. Kind of failing as you kind of go through, so it's a massive achievement, so well done. We obviously connected recently in the past month, and it's been fantastic to get to know you. One of the reasons I wanted you on is exactly the way that your passion kind of comes through, right? Your story, etc., which I didn't know, and so clearly we've met. But I love that kind of, the grit, the determination, I can see it shining through. So it doesn't surprise me that you've got your business. It doesn't surprise me that you're in there grinding out results, right? And I can see it, the passion. Like even when you said you're coming over, you put yourself out there. So you're definitely a lady after my own heart, right? So I'm the same, right? So I just love if you could just you've connected in the kind of the community. When we kind of reached out, it was funny. You said, "Oh, you're not sure this is kind of for me,"
Yeah.
etc. Here we are a month later. So yeah, what
Here we are. I'm in your podcast.
Yeah, it's great.
How did this happen from 0 to 100?
Yeah, exactly. Which is fantastic, and it's yeah. What I just love.
Yeah.
How did tell your
Yes.
rather than me plant things in your mouth?
Let me explain. let me tell the
Go for
audience how Steve and I were in the same bench. So we did connect over a conference.
Yep.
And when I'm a professional stalker. So of course I check you out and I'm like, who's this guy? What is he doing? Yada yada. And then you do whatever you do with your sales pitch or whatever. And I was so naive to think, it's like, what is he going to tell me? He's going to sell me a course, the classic thing. And then I text you, I think it was, and you text me back straight away. And in my eyes, that's AI, 100%. And then after that, you said, hey, I'll call you tomorrow, blah, blah. And I'm like, that's AI, book a call with me. And then what happened was the following day, you call me. And I'm like, oh, shit, it's you. Okay, this is happening. And then we talk. And I wouldn't say arrogant, but I guess I was very comfortable in testing your expertise. Let's just put it that way. I didn't make it easy for him. Let's just put it that way. And what happened was I felt, as I mentioned before, not that I knew it all, but I know what I needed to do to achieve to make my next steps, to make the business more profitable, bigger, better, make an impact, keep a legacy. And because I started being with this business ownership journey, I realized I had a little bit of gaps here and there. Yeah. And then I thought, you know what? It's a cohort, it's a model, I'm gonna give it a go, I have done so many, one more, one less. And I thought, and I told you this, and I said, I don't think I'm gonna learn anything from you.
That's exactly what you said.
Yeah.
She's told me that straight off, no pressure. No pressure like coming in.
I said, I don't think I'm going to learn anything from you, but if anything, it will be a good refresher. Tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm lying.
That's exactly what you said.
Yeah, I remember. And I remember you're like, okay then, like, miss, I know it all. And I said, you know what, let's just do it. I have nothing to lose, one more course. And little I know, Steve, how grateful I am on what you did to the business. I want to tell the audience this. I'm still part of the whole journey, so I have not even finished the cohort that we're running through at the moment. And a lot of courses, you have a course, you have a model, that's why they call you, you have set days sometimes. For me, it's overseas, different time zones. And what happens is usually, this is what you get the program, see you later. If you miss it, he had the recording, that's it. He noticed that I wasn't in one of them. Straight away, he picked up the phone, he called me, hey Anna, don't watch the recording. Let me know when you're available. We're gonna get into a Zoom. I'll tell you what we went through. I was like, whoa, like what's is this normal, And we're supposed to have it for a half hour. Yeah. We went an hour and a half. I'm a WhatsApp away. And what you did with the cohort, usually everyone talks about creating this community and make this, a part of the family. And there were many, many cohorts that I have seen that only a few reach the level of relationship, just moving from I'm on the screen and then I talk to you outside the screen to the point that I'm coming to Australia for a work trip. And one of the girls from the whole course is in Sydney. And then we start thinking, yes, no, you're coming for lunch. And you create that level of connectivity between people that is beyond community under my eyes. And the wow factor for me was every time via any channel, I may have my moments that I don't know what I'm doing, and you pick up the phone. Yeah. You're there, and that is not normal. And I want you to know this. This is not common, And for that, I say thank you.
Oh, thank you.
So it's my time to. I know. It's gonna be flat right now. Yeah. It's gonna be all red.
Yeah, that means a lot. Thank you.
Yes, but it's been an amazing journey so far. Yeah. I'm halfway through it, and also I already had all my money invested because I got 3 new clients. Because you were over and over again.
Well.
Do you do the calls? Do you do the posts? You know, and he's like my kind of dad, keeping me accountable. You know, you can blame the government, you can blame, you know, anything, elections, the country, because we are small. You can blame whatever you want to, but if you are not the one, if you're not the one who is doing the work, do the basics. Do the basics right, you know, stick to the plan, and then the work will flow. And it's not that it was a reminder, it was the way you structure. It's just beautiful. So for that, I say thank you.
Thank you.
Gracias.
No, thank you. Gracias. Yeah, it's been a pleasure. And I think the things that you mentioned, and I appreciate that. It wasn't scripted by anyone.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
You are the epitome of, and it means a lot to me to get this feedback from people. I wanted to create a curriculum that represented my own values, which is human connection, you know, talk about trust, communication, etc. It's fascinating because, again, in a world, and we talk about this so much now with technology, and I came from a call this morning, and I'm very much around your brand, your reputation, etc., humanize it, take it to market. And there's 2 parts to this, the brand, of which an organisation I'm working with, they talk about the future as the digital brand, and the 2 go together. And that's what's kind of coming next. So one without the other doesn't kind of quite work. But I think, again, it's fascinating because all the things that you just said, to me, is what makes recruitment great, right? It's helping people. You know, Jeff, who sat here from TRC a few weeks ago, talked about the consultant part has been lost. Where it's 100%. Like recruitment's one part. I think that's a fair comment. Would you say it is the consultant, it's the market intel? 100%.
And we can talk for hours about AI. I use AI a lot. Everyone knows, but I use it in the right part of the business. And I use it so then I can maximize my time. All the time that I have back, I can put it back on the people aspect, on seeing the candidates face to face. I'm a big fan of the whole interaction with clients and candidates. And the consultancy part, I think it's fading away, and we need to find a way to show that is the most important value part of. It's not just only recruitment. It's not that transactional, and people want to change it into a transactional model because of AI. And now everyone thinks that they can be a recruiter. Oh, I know someone. I make a placement. I can be a recruiter. And then
30 grand.
And then you create a free website. Here I am. Oh, I'm a recruitment expert, and I'm like, I have done this for 20 years. In New Zealand, there may be 20 of us that we know that we stay strong. And then we know the ones that it's like, look, I give him 6 months, And that's okay. I'm all for everyone to try anything. I'm not saying I'm the best. I'm not saying I'm the best expert. But if I have done the same thing for 20 years and I managed to navigate from fax to typing machine, to desktop, to laptop, to smartphones, to a podcast, I have enough information to tell you what's working and what's not working, And I know I'm not everyone's cup of tea, but I am telling you, it's really important that if you're really passionate and if you know you're good on what you do, just put yourself out there. And this is something that you tell me all the time. They don't know what they don't know. So if you don't put yourself out there, they're not going to see it.
100 million%. And I think we are coming to an end. So one final question from me. What does change the game mean to you personally?
It gives me the hope. It gives me that boost. It made me feel personally and professionally. It's really hard for me coming from enterprise, big global companies where you have the sense of belong. For a lot of people, you're a number, but for me, the enterprise world was my everything. To go to purely solo, recruitment solopreneur, going through separation, going through a lot of personal stuff at the same time, and then engaging with Change the Game, talking to people who are like-minded, talking to people who have the same struggles, and yes, you keep us accountable, and you keep us firm on what we need to do, but it is that little cheekiness of, I got you. No matter what, I got you. And right now, in the state of mind that I am in my life, I really needed to feel that sense of belong. And for that, yeah, it's something that I am very grateful.
I think that brings us, I couldn't end that on any better point. Anabella, thank you. Thank you very much.
You.
Thank you for joining me. Wow, there's so much there that we can kind of go through. From backing yourself, from sacrifice, from building a business, leaving your home, learning the language. For me, the things that kind of resonate there, and I've told this many times, I grew up selling fish till the age of 27 and hearing people doing blue-collar jobs, whatever it kind of takes. You don't lose that kind of work ethic, and I see the fabric of people that leads them to want to actually build a better life, for yourself, for your family, and I honestly believe that when you look at these best recruiters, and I truly, truly mean this, they're normal people, their values, they're intact, right? They're humble, but they care. And you embody that, so I really appreciate it. So thank you very much. It's been an absolute amazing conversation. I want to thank everyone, the guys at the boxing gym, obviously Anabella, and thank you, Jeff, for videoing this. So thank you, everyone. Until next time, appreciate you.
Thank you.
Bye.